The top stories tonight in Y News. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. defends the criminal justice system in the country, saying it is functioning fully. The Department of Justice discloses that some affidavits point to suspended Negros Oriental 3rd District Representative Arnolfo Teves Jr.'s involvement in the killing of Governor Roel Degamo. Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa admits he is avoiding countries loyal to the International Criminal Court following its denial on the Philippine government's appeal to suspend the drug war probe. And Sweden summons Russian ambassador after warning the country and its neighbor Finland that they would become legitimate targets of retaliatory measures if they joined NATO. Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Thursday, March 30, 2023. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am William Theo. First in the news, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has stated that the rule of law prevails in the Philippines, stressing that its criminal and justice system is functioning fully. This is what the president emphasized during the second session for Summit of Democracy. Nel Maribohok reports.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. gave assurance before the world stage that the Philippines' criminal justice system is fully functioning. He issued a statement in a video message during the plenary session of the second session for Summit for Democracy.
Let me emphasize, the rule of law prevails in the country. Our criminal justice system is fully functioning. We continue to improve mechanisms such as the AO35 Interagency Committee to enhance accountability.
AO35 refers to Administrative Order Number 35, which created an interagency committee on extra-legal killings and forced disappearances, torture, and other grave violations of the right to life, liberty, and security of persons. President Marcos said the country has legislation to fight heinous crimes.
The Philippines has a national legislation punishing heinous crimes. We have vigorously exercised our jurisdiction to investigate and prosecute crimes, including those allegedly committed in the context of the anti-illegal drugs campaign.
According to President Marcos, regarding the Philippines' fight against illegal drugs, the government continues focusing on strengthening state programs on rehabilitation, prevention, education, and assistance to drug victims and their families. He added that the administration is also strengthening further well-established accountability mechanisms and policies to protect women and children. PBBM assured that the Philippines will continue being an active player both bilaterally and globally on dialogues tackling various issues based on constructive engagements and as long as they back the country's interest. Nel Maribohok, UNTV News and Rescue, we serve the people, we give glory to God.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. recently announced the Philippines will disengage communications with the International Criminal Court. According to a legal expert, this would affect how the country is viewed in the international community and will put former President Rodrigo Duterte at a disadvantage. Eileen Cerudo will tell us why.
If the Philippine government refused to provide documents and evidence for the drug war probe of the International Criminal Court or ICC, the decision of the international judicial body might not favor former President Rodrigo Duterte. According to National Union of People's Lawyers or NUPL chairperson Attorney Nery Colmenares, this is one of the impacts if the Philippines will refuse to coordinate with the ICC.
Wala na siyang ebidensyang isasubmit. So, lalong magkakaroon ng desisyon ng ICC na to go to trial. karapatan naman niya na magdepensa. Pero kung tatanggalin yan ng Marcos administration, dapat supported niya yan. Otherwise, kung ma-convict siya, baka magsisihan pa sila na na-convict ako dahil hindi niyo ako dinepensahan.
Attorney Colmenares added that this might also impact how the international community would view the Philippines. He explained that the ICC still has jurisdiction to conduct a drug war probe since the complaints filed were still during a time when the Philippines was still an ICC member.
Pumirma tayo ng treaty Pag hindi natin ito pa rin yan, ang sasabihin ng international community, wala pala kayong kwentang kausap. Nag-treaty tayo, nagpirmahan tayo, tapos ngayon nalagay sa alanganin yung presidente nyo. Hindi nyo nasusundin yung pinag-usapan natin.
Meanwhile, Senator Robin Hood Padilla agreed with President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s decision to disengage communications with ICC. In a statement, he said that the president is right and the ICC has no jurisdiction. The Solicitor General of the Philippines also has no legal or moral obligation to cooperate with the ICC. Other senators, including Senator Risa Ontiveros, already viewed the said disengagement as a mistake. Solicitor General Menardo Guevara has clarified that the ICC has not yet reached a decision on the Philippines appeal. President Marcos Jr. still has not retracted his statement on the issue. Attorney Colmenares, however, reiterated that whether he will retract his statement or not, it is still the president's decision whether to cooperate with the ICC or not. He also noted that most countries being investigated by the ICC never cooperated with the agency, yet the ICC still continued work under their jurisdiction. Eileen Cerudo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Department of Justice, or DOJ, disclosed that some affidavits point to suspended Negros Oriental 3rd District Representative Arnolfo Teves Jr.'s involvement in the killing of Governor Roel Degamo. Dante Amento has the story.
Department of Justice or DOJ Secretary Crispin Remulla said there are 10 sworn affidavits in their possession which pointed suspended Congressman Arnie Teves Jr.'s involvement or participation in the death of Governor Roel Degamo. Remulla recently disclosed that Teves Jr. is among those being considered masterminds in the crime.
The statements that were issued so far point to a certain involvement on his part. The 9 or 10 statements that we hold on to. Sampung statement.
On the question of whether those affidavits would suffice to file a case against the legislator, according to Remulla,
it may be enough depending on the requirement of the panel of prosecutors. But it's better if we can further the information there.
Meanwhile, Remulla clarified he did not call Teves a fugitive of the law. He explained that there is still no formal case filed in court against him.
Actually, hindi ko sinasabi yun. That's the question. This question, is he a fugitive? Sabi ko, not yet. Not yet. Unless he surrenders, then he won't be because he will be under the jurisdiction of the court. But
Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Department of Justice, or DOJ Secretary Crispin Boying Remulla, said it is a comfort on their part that former Negros Oriental Governor Pride Henry Teves submitted a waiver even without a warrant. Pride Henry allowed investigators to check his bank accounts and communication logs. Remulla said the waiver would clear some issues, but he allegedly once suspended Negros Oriental 3rd District Representative Arnolfo Teves Jr. to submit his waiver instead.
Iba yung waiver niya, iba yung waiver na kung ibang bibigay na waiver si former congressman, si Congressman Arnie. I wish it was him giving the waiver, not Henry.
The Philippine National Police, or PNP, confirms that the license to own and possess firearms of former Negros Oriental Governor Pride Henry Teves was canceled. Aside from the LTOPF, the former governor's permit to carry firearms outside of residence was also revoked. Leia Ilagan will tell us why.
The Philippine National Police, or PNP, found out that former Negros Oriental Governor Pride Henry Teves submitted an spurious document in the application to obtain firearms license. PNP spokesperson Police Colonel Jean Fajardo said this is the reason why the PNP Firearms and Explosives Office, or FEO, canceled his firearm license and firearms registration. Colonel Fajardo added that based on the PNP FEO database, former Governor Teves have 28 firearms under his name.
Mas makakabuti po na i-surrender na po niya yung mga 28 po niya na barel na nakarehistro po sa database po ng PNP. Mas makakabuti po na ngayon na na-revoke na po yung kanyang LTAP, yung kanyang firearms registration, as well as permit to carry. Mas makakabuti po at maganda naman po at may intention po siyang i-surrender ito mga baril na ito.
Meanwhile, the PNP also said that Negros Oriental 3rd District Representative Arnolfo Teves Jr. failed to surrender the 6 out of 18 firearms under his name. One of the said firearm is a sniper rifle that was found hidden in the creek inside the HDJ Tolong compound last Monday.
Uunahin po muna ma'am yung pag-return po muna ito ng search warrant doon sa issuing courts at matapos po itong proseso na ito, lahat po, hindi lamang po itong sniper courts na huling na-discover, lahat po ng mga baril na na-recover po doon po sa premises po ng compound will be submitted for ballistics and cross-matching examination to determine if any of these firearms were used dito nga po sa kaso po ni Governor Degamo o in any other case for that matter po.
Colonel Fajardo said the authorities continue its search inside the more than 50 hectares of HDJ Tolong compound. Leia Ilagan, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And for our news abroad, the Russian ambassador has been summoned by Sweden after warning the country and its neighbor Finland they would become legitimate targets of retaliatory measures if they join NATO. Mavi Delphine will give us the details live. Good evening, Mavi.
Good evening, Giona. Sweden's Foreign Minister Tobias Billström on Wednesday, March 30, called the statement posted on the Russian embassy's website an obvious attempt at influence and calls for Russia's ambassador Viktor Tatarinchev to clarify the threatening remarks. Billström then emphasized Sweden's independent decision-making regarding its security. The events unfolded after the two Nordic countries seized its military neutrality back in May 2022 and sought alliance membership following the outbreak of war in Ukraine. According to Tatarinchev, Sweden and Finland's successful bid will mean that the total length of the borders between Russia and NATO will almost double. He then warned that Sweden was taking a step towards the abyss rather than becoming safer and improving Europe's security. However, under NATO rules, the Nordic pair can only become full members when all 30 member countries have ratified their applications. Hungary's governing party is delaying ratification for Sweden's accession until disagreements are cleared up, while Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan needs further assurances. Finland is also waiting on Turkey, which has signaled it will soon give its final approval. Sweden hopes to join the bloc before the upcoming NATO summit in Lithuania this July. Back to you, Giona.
Thank you, Mavi, for that live report. Saudi Arabia's cabinet has approved a memorandum for the kingdom to become a dialogue partner in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, an international alliance consisting of 8 member countries. Nerissa Danda will give us the details why live. Good evening, Nerissa.
Good evening, Giona. Saudi Arabia's King Salman bin Abdulaziz chaired the meeting on Wednesday when the memorandum was approved for the kingdom to become the seventh dialogue partner in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, or SCO. This puts Saudi Arabia one step closer to becoming a member of the SCO. SCO, formerly known as Shanghai 5, is a political, economic, and security alliance formed to contend with the Western organizations, and SCO now has 8 member countries, which include China, Russia, India, Pakistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Uzbekistan. Consecutive to the decision, a joint venture between China and Saudi Aramco was also finalized, raising Saudi Arabia's multi-billion-dollar venture in China's privately managed petrochemical group. Saudi Arabia's diversification of partners came after the kingdom voiced its concerns from what they have observed from the withdrawal of its usual security ally, the United States. The SCO is expected to hold a counter-terrorism exercise in Russia's west central city, Chelyabinsk, sometime in August 2023. Back to you, Giona.
Thank you, Nerissa, for that live report. The decision of Myanmar's military government junta has dissolved 40 political parties, including that of oust leader Aung San Suu Kyi. Annie Mancilia explains why live. Good evening, Annie.
Good evening, Jonah. In an evening bulletin by state media on Tuesday, March 28, the Tatmadaw of Myanmar's military has announced the automatic disbandment of the National League for Democracy, or NLD party, and 39 others after failing to meet the registration deadline under the new electoral law. Kon Myen Ton, a senior NLD official, however, said that party would never have re-registered for the polls, with many of its members in jail, while others are actively involved in the revolution. While Yu Kyo-zo, a spokesperson for the Shadow National Unity Government, or NUG, which the junta has labeled as terrorist, said the military had no authority to hold what would be a stage-managed election. The International Crisis Group senior advisor Richard Horsey has raised serious concerns of escalated violence, stating that the regime would take advantage of the election to intensify its counter-insurgency operations. The election would effectively return the country to the quasi-civilian democratic system, which would help legitimize the military's grip on power. Meanwhile, Junta Chief Min Aung Hlaing, on the one hand, urged international critics to support his efforts to restore democracy. On the other hand, Hlaing warned the junta would take decisive action against opponents. No date has been set up for polls, but the Tatmadaw is planning for the end for this July. Giona?
Thank you, Annie, for that live report. We'll share more global stories with you later, but for now, back to you, William.
Thank you, Giona. For those watching our live streaming on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook. Following the denial of the International Criminal Court on the Philippine government's appeal to suspend the drug war probe, Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa admits he is avoiding countries loyal to the ICC. Harleen Delgado will tell us why.
Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa is not taking any risk on his freedom once the International Criminal Court, or ICC, goes full steam ahead with its investigation on the war on drugs of the Duterte administration. The former PNP chief, who launched former President Rodrigo Duterte's Oplan Tokang, admits he is avoiding travel to countries that he believes are loyal to the ICC in case an arrest warrant is issued against him.
Better be prepared. Hindi ako takot, hindi ako natakot dahil alam ko man talagang walang mangyari diyan. Kung hindi lang ako lalabas sa ating bansa. Sa ngayon kasi hindi ko pa alam kung maglalabas. Mahirap kung nasa ibang bansa ka tapos yung bansa na yan ay isang ICC member country tapos very loyal sila doon sa kanilang commitment sa ICC na ipapatupad yung warrant. Kung maglabas sila ng warrant, mahirap na maabutan din ng issuance ng warrant doon sa ibang bansa. Pero pag hindi naman na, kung non-ICC member country naman, wala tayong problema. Kagagaling ko lang sa Thailand, galing lang ako sa Vietnam, bago lang ako pumunta doon. I don't feel threatened.
De La Rosa adds this is why he tapped his colleague, Senator Francis Tolentino, as his legal counsel to rescue him should authorities in ICC member states arrest him. De La Rosa also supports the impending hearing of Tolentino's Senate Committee on Justice and Human Rights on the resolutions filed in the Senate defending former President Duterte against the ICC investigation and prosecution. Earlier, Tolentino said he is planning to invite ICC prosecutors virtually as resource persons. De La Rosa says he is looking forward to meeting the ICC representatives even via online, noting that he intends to ask the international body to prove that the Philippines justice system is no longer working.
Kung hindi kami magkaharap doon sa dahig, magkaharap kami dito sa Senado. Mas maganda. Di ba? Para palabas nila yung kanilang side, palabas na namin yung aming side. Then, titignan natin.
The lawmaker is also open to inviting former Senator Antonio Trillanes IV to the hearing. In 2017, Trillanes filed a supplemental complaint before the ICC against former President Duterte to investigate the alleged crimes against humanity over extrajudicial killings of drug suspects. In a message to reporters, the former senator says he is willing to attend the hearing once invited. Harleen Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The National Water Resources Board is now studying the appeal of Maynilad for additional water allocation. Maynilad announced that more customers could experience water service interruption if they have insufficient supply. Ray Pelayo will tell us why.
Maynilad, through the Metropolitan Water Works and Sewerage System, or MWSS, already requested to increase the water allocation from Angat Dam to 52 cubic meters per second, or CMS, in April from 50 CMS in March. But the National Water Resources Board, or NWRB, already issued notice to the concessionaires that they will reduce the allocation to 48 CMS in April. Maynilad said that the concessionaires only received 43 CMS because of the leaks that they discovered in the pipes that connect Angat Dam to Ipo and the Mesa Dam.
Yung mga na-identified pa na namin na mga leak locations, hindi pa ganun kalaki yung tumatapon na tubig na nakikita namin. So sa tingin namin meron pang mas malaki dito.
They already reduced their production that resulted to more than 1 million out of the 1.5 million customers now experiencing water service interruption.
Sa ngayon, mas konti yung nakakaranas ng 14 hours na interruption, pero mas dadami sila yung 14 hours yung water interruption kung sakaling aabot kami dun sa punto na 60% na lang yung allocation.
Manila Water shares their allocation with the La Mesa Dam, but this is now temporarily suspended because of the depleting reserve.
So we're already below yung parabang normal operating level for La Mesa, and we need to also preserve yung level na yan so that wala namang impact dun sa operations natin, so that we can serve yung mga customers natin.
MWSS noticed that the water consumption increases.
Actually po ma'am, wala pong effect yung El Nino yun. Dala lang po talaga po ng requirement po ng dalawang concessionary natin yan. Pag marami po kasing gumagamit ng tubig, naturally po, mas matulis po yung paghugot natin ng tubig sa sistema natin. Kaya po, ganun po ang pagbaba po ng elevation ng lamesa natin sa Ipo po.
Water concessionaires plan to improve the production of water from the Laguna Lake. They also fast-tracking the repair of leaks to save water wastage. MWSS said that they are also ready to conduct cloud seeding operations to create artificial rain on dams' watershed. Ray Pelayo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The Land Transportation Office said it will not postpone the implementation of prescribed maximum driving school rates which was scheduled to commence on April 15. JP Nunez will tell us why.
Despite the call of driving schools to postpone the implementation of maximum prescribed fee among driving courses starting April 15, the Land Transportation Office or LTO is still firm to the schedule. LTO Chief Assistant Secretary J.R. Tugade in a statement insisted that the agency should hear the call of the public for cheaper expenses when they apply for driver's license. ASEC Tugade further emphasized that the price ceiling for driving schools has undergone cost analysis by its technical working group. Earlier today, March 30, the Association of Accredited Driving Schools of the Philippines Incorporated called for the postponement of the implementation of the new memorandum circular.
Our plea to our regulating body, to Land Transportation Office, to our good Assistant Secretary Tugade, is the postponement of its implementation.
Its President Marie-France Gavino Ochoco also explained that the prescribed rate of the LTO will not help driving schools to continue with their operations due to high operating expenses.
Yung 4,000 pesos po na tuition fee, halos ano po namin yun, pamigay, charity, no?
The group appealed to the LTO to allow them to impose higher package than the 4,000 price ceiling for manual sedan being used for practical driving courses. Ochoco said LTO should allow them for value-added services by providing clients a higher model of vehicles for practical driving such as SUVs, which sometimes their customers demand. They also want to increase the price cap of the theoretical driving courses or TDC from 1,000 pesos to 1,500 pesos. JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Philippine Ports Authority or PPA and the Philippine Coast Guard announced that they will be on heightened alert this April. This is to ensure the safety of the public for the long holiday. Bernadette Tinoy will tell us why.
The Philippine Ports Authority or PPA has implemented their Oplan Biyaheng Ayos that indicates their 24/7 monitoring and security check of different ports in the country.
Implemented na rin po yung ating Oplan Biyaheng Ayos at ito po yung 24/7 na monitoring, pati po yung mga security check sa ating pong mga pantalan.
According to PPA spokesperson Eunice Monte, the expected passengers would be more than 2 million individual next week.
Nasa 1.2 million yung mga pasahero po na naitala nitong Holy Week last year. Pero inaasahan po nating madadagdagan po yan ngayong taon. Nasa 2.2 million po yung ating forecast ngayong Holy Week.
Philippine Coast Guard will also be on heightened alert on April 2 to 10. According to PCG Vice Admiral Rolando Lizor Punzelan Jr., they will increase the number of deployment compared to regular day operation. They will also add the participation of K9 units and deployable response group.
Madadagdag din dito po yung activation o yung participation ng mga K9 units natin, medical teams, security personnel, vessel inspectors, tsaka deployable response group.
Meanwhile, PCG advised the public to avoid using colorum vessels. PCG spokesperson Rear Admiral Arman Balilo said a colorum vessel doesn't have life-saving equipment and can lead to accident.
Huwag niyo pong tangkilikin yung mga tinatawag na ng mga colorum vessels kasi po unang-una ito po ay delikado. Wala po ito mga mas madalas po itong nagiging sanhi ng aksidente sa karagatan at wala po itong mga karaniwang mga life-saving equipment. Kung meron man ay hindi po maganda at baka hindi kayo makagamit ng maayos pagka may nangyari sa mga sasakyang pandagat na yun.
Bernadette Tinoy, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Disney company has laid off more than 300 employees in Beijing to cut costs. Monica Calnas tells us why.
A restructuring and cost-cutting initiative had led to go more than 300 employees at the Walt Disney Company from Beijing, China, working on streaming services. It was announced in February 2023 that the Walt Disney Company will eliminate 7,000 jobs as part of the multi-billion-dollar cost-cutting strategy. In a memo from the Walt Disney Company CEO Robert Iger said on Monday, layoffs will come in 3 waves beginning this week. The second round is expected in April. Disney have also recently shut down the Metaverse unit and have laid off all its 50 employees. It is anticipated that the last batch of notifications for the affected positions will be announced before the summer to hit the 7,000 job cuts. Monica Canlas, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
After 3 years, Israel sends a spy satellite to space in efforts to improve their defense capacities. Paul Gatchalian explains why.
Many people are claiming that Israel is looking to increase their defense as a way to prepare for any conflict that may arise with their nation and the close neighboring Iran. According to the Israeli Ministry of Defense, the spy satellite known as Ofek-13 was sent to space off the Palmashim Air Base by an Israeli Shabbat rocket at 2:10 a.m. local time and arrived at orbit. Iran has recently restored its connections with Saudi Arabia, which has only enhanced Israel's feeling of threat due to Iran's nuclear goals as well as the increase of anti-government protests in Israel. The Chief Executive Officer of Israeli Aerospace Industries, Boaz Levi, stated that the latest satellite consists of a unique radar observation capabilities which allow for weather and intelligence collection. Meanwhile, the Israeli Prime Minister's current actions have claimed to lead to the falling out with the President of the United States, Joe Biden, as he tries to weaken the Israeli Supreme Courts. Paul Gatchalian, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. I am Gianna Provider, live from London, United Kingdom. Good evening.
Governor Humerlito Dolor has recommended that the province of Oriental Mindoro be submitted to a state of calamity. Today, he called the attention of the Provincial Council to hold a special session tomorrow, March 31, to discuss the matter. 2 other towns, Baco and San Teodoro, were also affected by the oil slick from the sunken tanker MT Princess Empress. According to Governor Dolor, it is no longer safe to swim in the sea and do fishing activities because the water samples have failed the water quality tests. The number of individuals by the oil spill has reached 200,000.
Ngayong araw na ito ay sa pinilatas ng kanyang pagdalawin and request to declare the entire province under state of calamity dahil may mga reports na rin ako natanggap na binabalikin pa namin ngayong araw na ito via sa Tutunuro na yung baybayin all over ay may presence na ng glistening oil more than the highest standards allowable by the year.
Meanwhile, 5 specialized bags that will be used to cover the sunken MT Princess Empress and catch the leaking oil from the 23 cracks found on the vessel's surface have arrived in the country on Wednesday, March 29. The bags were bought from Norway, and those are expected to arrive in Oriental Mindoro today. Luckily, the local government unit of Oriental Mindoro has discovered that these specialized bags can also be manufactured in Cavite. According to the governor, they spoke to the local manufacturer and confirmed that they can make 1 bag per day.
Pinakita natin sa operator, kaya pala silang i-manufacture sa Pilipinas. Nakasample na sila ng isa, kaya lang medyo maliit. Kaya sabi ng Japanese operators natin, mas madaling i-handle ng kamay ng ROV fee, pinalalangan pa nila ng adjustment.
In other news, the Department of Health, or DOH, reminds the public of some illnesses that can possibly be acquired during water crisis. Gladys Tawabi will tell us why.
The Philippines is facing water crisis, and according to health experts, there are diseases that can be experienced due to this crisis, especially when there is no safe and clean water for consumption.
Kapag may krisis tayo sa tubig, walang makuwanan na ligtas na inumin ng ating mga kababayan. At dyan po mag-uumpisa maaari ang epidemya ng mga gastrointestinal problems.
Diarrhea, typhoid fever, food and waterborne diseases, and cholera are some of the prevalent illnesses.
Maaari silang makainom ng tubig at mag-iisanin ng pagsusuka, pagtatae. At ito ay pag-iisanin ng dehydration at magkaroon ng pagkakahospital. Maaari ding sa pagtatae o pagsuka ay makina sila at magkaroon ng mga electrolyte imbalances.
The public is advised to at least do water boiling if a drinking water is unsafe.
Halimbawa, itong mag-water boiling para masigurado na patay ang mga mikrobyo.
Also, Filipinos tend to stock water in containers when there is a problem with water supply. However, this practice may lead to dengue, as mosquitoes may breed inside.
Dahil kapag may krisis sa tubig, nag-iipon ang ating mga kabahayan ng kanilang tubig at minsan nakakalimutan nating takpan ang mga paminggalan o yung mga lalagayan ng tubig at dyan po nagbe-breed ang mga lamok na maaring mag-cause nitong dengue na to.
To avoid being infected with dengue fever, cover and clean water containers and regularly keep your homes clean. Recently, President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. has created Water Board to address safe drinking water for Filipinos. Gladys Tawabi, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Our kasangbahay, as the world faces these trying times amid the pandemic caused by coronavirus, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity.
Good day. I'm Brother Eli Soriano of the members of the Church of God International. I want to invite you to join us in a minute of prayer every day to pray for humanity and the whole world as we go through these perilous times. While safety measures like washing of hands and strengthening of our immune systems may help us through this horrible predicament, there is still no precaution or cure more powerful than God's mighty intervention. And we need His intervention now more than ever. It doesn't matter what religion you are in or what denomination you belong. This is an invitation for all the people around the world who cares for the future of their family, friends, loved ones, and humanity as a whole. Everybody is welcome to pray with us. For more details, you can check out the description box below. Thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you soon. May God bless you.
And before we close, we will leave you with the word giving glory to God from the book of John chapter 4 verse 14. It says, "But whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst, but the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life." And those are the reasons behind the news, March 30, 2023, reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. And because we need to know, we will always ask why. I am William Theo. We serve the people. We give glory to God.